What's goody? It's your host J Rose as always. I want to get into some young talent that I think are going to take some big leaps next season. I don't know whether to qualify this player as a young player per se because he is 26 years old, but I feel like Mikal Bridges is going to take a huge jump next year. He got his first taste of being a number one option and he thrived in that role. He averaged 26 points in 27 games for the Brooklyn Nets, and I think that's amazing. Coming from a player who I didn't really think was going to be much coming out of Phoenix, the most he averaged was 17, and that was this season because Devin Booker and Chris Paul missed a lot of time, and I'm glad that happened for him. He definitely opened up his eyes to see what he could do on ball, and he definitely took that role, and he's been thriving in it. His three-point shot looks really good. He looks like a leader of a team. He's very hyped to watch, and I hope the Brooklyn Nets can actually build something next season around him as well, so we can see what he can do. But he's 26 right now, so I think he's teetering on that line of me calling him a young player, but because he's only been in the league for 5 seasons, I'll give him that mantra. And I'm going to say Mikal Bridges. 27 points a game last season, 26 points a game. I think he can definitely take a big leap this season. I want to see what he does. Next player on my list, Cade Cunningham. Pulled the Buffies out my jacket like Cade Cunningham. Yes, sir. So I think Cade Cunningham is going to be a decent player. Just overall in his career, I think he has the potential to be a really, really good player. He averaged 26 and 6, but he only played like somewhere in the teens in his games last season. I think he just needs to stay healthy. He's struggled with staying healthy since he's gotten into the league. His first year, he played 64 games, but he still was hurt. I hope Cade can come in and be healthy. I think he's not going to get the recognition that I believe he deserves until he can come in and play a full season. Either way, the Pistons I don't think are going to be good with or without him, but I would like to see him come in, take that leap, show everybody who he is, show his arsenal. I definitely want him to come in and be able to show what he got. He was a first pick. I want him to be nice. I'm very high on Cade. Next up, I have Tyrese Halliburton, and I'm not sure how much better Tyrese will get, but he definitely made an all-star team this year, and I think he'll take another jump. I think he'll take a jump in his points per game this season. He already led the league in assists last year, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I should double check that, right? He did not lead the league in assists, but he was definitely up there, averaging 10.4 assists per game and 20 points per game. I think if he can raise that 20 points up to 25, we're gonna have to have some real conversations about Tyrese Halliburton and where he ranks among this great pool of point guards, might I add. This pool of point guards is very, very nice. The young talent coming up at the guard position is going to look really great. I think Tyrese Halliburton can be one of those players to lead the charge. He just made his first All-Star team. I definitely think he'll want to build off of that. And the Pacers honestly are in no position to take the ball out of his hands right now. I think the only person who's a definite that's staying on this team is him and probably Benedict Mathurin. So I got Tyrese Halliburton definitely taking the leap next season. I've already spoken on this, so I'll keep it short, but Anthony Edwards, I feel like a lot of people are high on Anthony Edwards, and this is not too hot of a take. Anthony Edwards is a very popular player in today's NBA, so I'm not going to go too far in depth. I think y'all know about Anthony Edwards and what he does on the court. I feel like he does need to become more efficient, and in the playoffs, he does have the tendency to fall off a little bit, so he needs to work out those kinks. But as I said, he is still a young player. I think he'll take that leap, and I can only pray to God they're done with this Karl-Anthony Towns experiment, and they can finally let Anthony Edwards just have his own squad. I'd love that for him. This one might be a little bit weird for most people, but I'm going to say Shaedon Sharpe. Shaedon Sharpe only averaged 10 points, 3 assists, and I lied. I'm looking at it right now. How did I get that wrong? He's averaging 10 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. So I feel like a lot of people will look at that and be like, I'm not really seeing the vision. But Shaedon Sharpe is a high flyer. He finishes very, very well at the rim. Not to mention, he shot 36% from 3. That is not too shabby at all. I think he'll come in next season. And here's the problem with this. I think Damian Lillard will definitely hinder his growth, because you're going to have to share the ball with Dame, Scoot, and Simons. Those are 3 players that are definitely ahead of him in the hierarchy on that team. I feel like if Dame is gone, that alleviates some of that pressure. You can slide Shaedon Sharpe in at the 2. You can slide him in at the 3 and let him play around there. But I feel like if you have Scoot, Simons, and Dame already, you can't have as much room to plug and play him in different spots. So I definitely hope Dame leaves, not only for Shaedon's sake, but for Anthony Simons' sake and for Scoot's sake as well, because I think they should have the ball more as well. But if Shaden Sharp can have the ball in his hands a little bit more. I think he will take a decent sized leap, maybe go from 9 points to maybe 15. I definitely like Shaden Sharp's game. He's a very underrated guy, and I'm rooting for him 100%. This one is definitely weird, and I feel like some people are gonna call me out on my BS for this one, but I'm gonna say Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren has not played one single game in the NBA, so saying that he's gonna grow is, you know, I don't really have any numbers to back that up. I don't have too much game to back that up either. But what I can see is that in the summer league this year and last year, he was really decent. He's clearly gotten better. His defense looks amazing. He's rounded out his body. And I feel like playing next to a team that really just built their continuity last season and adding him in there is not going to be too hard. I don't think he's going to have to carry too much of a load. But playing next to Shea, they're going to have a decent 1-2 punch. I really do hope that works out. I think Chet can be a really good player. And at his very least, he's going to be a monster on defense. Maybe not like one-on-one in the post, but his weak side defense is going to be absolutely elite. He's just blocking shots with ease, 2 hands. He's touching the top of the box while barely jumping. I mean, he's mad tall, so I think that he's definitely going to have a nice season. His rookie year, he's going to have a nice season. I think his 1 year off definitely helped him out, and he's going to have a nice chance to win Rookie of the Year, in my opinion. For my last pick of a young player that I think is going to take a decent leap, I want to say Jabari Smith Jr., but I'm a little iffy about it because of the way the Rockets just added people to their roster. I know Fred VanVleet is going to be taking the ball away a lot. Jalen Green is going to be taking the ball away a lot. They got the Thompson twin off the bench. But I do think Jabari Smith Jr. is going to take a decent leap. Looking at him in the summer league, he looks like a completely different player. He looked like a grown man amongst boys in the summer league. So I'm hoping that his offseason work and that 1 year of NBA experience definitely helped him. And I hope he can just build on that next season and come back and be a good player for the Rockets. I'm not going to sit here and act like I was too high on Jabari Smith Jr. at all, even coming out of the draft last season. I really just wasn't. But looking at what he's looking to turn into, I feel like he can be a good player. He averaged 12 points and 7 rebounds last season, so I feel like he can build off that. They're going to put him at the power forward position. They're going to have a really, really big lineup, so I'm not sure how he's going to fit into that. I feel like there's going to be a lot of touches being spread around that Rockets team. Sengun also needs the ball. Like I said with Fred VanVleet, Jalen Green, I'm sure they're going to want their lottery pick to get the ball as well, and that's why I'm not sure why they even picked up Fred VanVleet in free agency, but that's beyond the point. I feel like if Jabari Smith Jr. gets the opportunity, he definitely will take a leap this season, but I'm just not sure how big the opportunity will be. I don't like the Fred VanVleet signing at all, just because I feel like you have such a young core. I want the young core with the ball in their hand. I want the Thompson twin to start. I want Jalen Green to have the ball. I want Jabari Smith Jr. to have the ball, so I wasn't a big fan of that signing. But either way, I feel like given the opportunity, they're going to have to pick and choose who's going to be their first, second, and third options, obviously. And if he makes that cut, I think he'll have a good season, and he'll definitely take a bigger leap off of his rookie year. But that is it for the video. I hope you guys learned about some new, young, and up-and-coming players that maybe you didn't know about previously. And that's it. I'll catch y'all in the next one.